Okay, got a new key from the local machine shop. So hopefully I can get that in there. It's a lot tighter for sure. The other thing, this is 70 to 80 foot-pounds for that torque hub to be torqued to the main shaft. And this nut here, 70 pounds as well too. Meant to mention that. Now the tricky part's getting this thing back on there. Trying to think if there was a spacer. Oh, that is the spacer there. Yeah, there's the spacer there, yep. Huh. Let's get something to push that in. Smaller screw or something here. It's tricky to get that key in there. Pushes out as you put it in. Come on, I need a longer screwdriver. Then the magnet screws you up. Stick into the magnet. No. Let's see if I can hold that in place while I push this on. Get these off of there. Ah, the magnet's so strong, it's pulling it out. Come on, bastard. No. Which was up here, you know. If I can turn this thing backwards a little bit. backwards anyway. Got it. Lots of finagling. Show you what I had to do. If you can see there, these Woodruff keys is a little bit squared. It's a little bit squared off on the end here, so it seats all the way in. I had to round in those two corners a little bit, then it fit in a little farther. That's all I needed to do. Torque this. Get a torque wrench. I got a big torque wrench. It probably should, this is more accurate though, but let's see here. $70. So you get the bigger torque wrench. I put a block of Teflon in here, or hardwood you could jam in there a little bit. That's how I'm going to do it. There we go. Okay, torqued in there. Oh, okay. See if this is going to go on all right for me. Oh, we're going to put those spacers in. 1, 2, 3. Just see what kind of the spacers look too big for this thing here. Let me get the old one. Where's my calipers. Nothing's easy. So the thickness of this one is 38 millimeters. 38. Yeah, this is 38, 37, 38. What, you know, like half of the magnet's sticking out. I don't remember that on the other one. I don't remember that. Does that look right? I don't know. Snug it up. Like I could shorten these spacers in here and get this to go back in farther if I had to. There's lots of clearance. Yeah, something's not right there. Something's not right. Because I can see the back of the rotor. That's another thing I kept saying wrong in my video the other day. There was stator, rotor, rotor, stator. Stator is stationary, rotor rotates. I always say them wrong. But I can tell you right now, I don't like that. I could almost take these 3 spacers out and push this right in. It'll be flush. See if you can see what I mean here. See in behind there, there's the rotor. In behind, it's sticking out about 1/4 of an inch. Back here, and you can see I got a little gap here still. This will pull up tighter. But look at how it's sticking out here, like 1/4 of an inch. Like I could shave down these spacers, cut them in half, and this thing would go in a little farther. Well, it's not hitting the chain. Oh my God, I gotta Google that now. Because that's, you know, you're probably losing quite a bit of voltage there by this thing the magnet not affecting the outer windings. Something doesn't look right there. It's got to be a different size spacer. And I have to look at my video. Maybe the other one was like that when I took it out. I'm not sure. I got to go double check. Okay, I've been reading up on this a little bit more. Sure enough, the Norton Owners Group has a couple good articles on this. And this happens with a bunch of people. They see this, it just doesn't look right. And it doesn't look right to me. You know, why is that stator, or the rotor in so far on the stator? You got a 1/4 inch gap there. And then in the back here, my stator sticking that way about 1/4 of an inch, maybe not quite. So a lot of people say, hey, it works fine just like that. And then there's other people that say the easiest thing to do is to change these spacers here. And these are supposed to be 1/2 inch or 0.495 of an inch. And guys are milling them down to 345 or 395, I can't remember, but about 3/8 of an inch. And I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna take a little bit off each of these and at least get it in a little bit more and take it from there. Yeah, and they say it does work better. You get a better output when you put this over the magnet a little bit more, but it will work like that. Maybe not quite the same wattage. So that's what I'm gonna do there. And pull that off. And I'm gonna measure mine. I thought one guy said that there was 3 different sizes of spacers that could go in there in one of the articles, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a 0.495. Yeah, and I think it's, I'm gonna mill it down to I think it's 325. 325, is that 3/8? I think so, somewhere like that. Anyways, let me do that. That's my next step. These are 1/2 inch. Zoom in there. Yeah, they're about 1/2 inch, so it needs to take 1/8 of an inch off them. I got 12 projects going at once. Trying to get one of them done, just one. Just one of them done. Okay, let's back on the Norton here. Back on the Norton. I'm still trying to find some other spacers to get this. This is 1/2 inch. I want to get down to 1/4 or 3/8. And I found a place tomorrow, so I'm gonna go try to get those tomorrow. Got the sandpaper to sand the primary down. Do that tomorrow. But what I want to do right now is put the side cover on. Hope this one's not live. What is this one here, negative? Yeah, this is live, for Pete's sake. I want to put the side cover on and get the spacing for the logo so I can get Peter to clear coat that on there, or dog's trying to get in. What are you doing? Need some electrical tape. You want in? Come on. Okay. You're not gonna get this. Go over crap somewhere. I know you're gonna. You took that napkin right away. Greasy old napkin. Give me that. Come on. Get out of that dirty stuff. Give me that. Crazy thing. Okay. Oh god, the dog's gonna be in trouble. I'll take him for a few minutes and then he's gonna go in the house. That's why I put this over here, because this is hot. Tuck that in there. Put the side cover on. It's been so long now that I gotta find the rubbers. There's one. There's the other. Where are you, dog? What kind of trouble are you getting into? Get out of there! Get! Goes like that. That goes like that. That's gonna be approximately like that. And where's the logos? So you can't just stick these logos onto the clear coat, the shiny clear coat, and then clear coat over top of it. You've got to sand this down with, I believe, 800 grit. I want to get this located, take it to Peter, and I'm going to sand it down. He's going to tell me how to do it, and try to get the 2 side covers at least, get these on there. These are over a year old. I want to make sure they're still good, no bubbles in them. And the mistake a lot of people do is they put the logo alignment with that, and that's not right. You know, it's about like this. This should be level with the ground. You know, it's going to be in like this somewhere. So that's what I got to figure right now. Pretty sure my bench is level, but I'll get a level on it. Hey, what are you doing? What do we got here? Did you ever crap you in my garage? I know you're gonna. I gotta get some of these projects done. Oh my God, that's so much on the go. Stupid. Yeah, the bench is dead level. So, and both tires, with these 1971s, the center stand isn't quite, it should be a little bit taller. And so both tires just about sit on the ground. So, what I want to do is put a piece of masking tape on here at the level line. Approximately. Now I can adjust it. And this is, yeah, let me put a spacer in there. It's too thick. What are you doing, Doc? Put a piece of tape on it. It's about an 1/8 of an inch gap there. Find a spacer. Shut you off. Look what I got. Bubble wrap. Oh, here's your bubble wrap. Yeah, take that. Give me that. Okay, got a little spacer in there. Just get this to see. So I just want to put a piece of tape up here. Is that thing on? Yeah, it's on, eh? What? Scare yourself, dog. Not too high. What the hell? Get down. You crazy dog. Need some glasses. Need my glasses. There's some glasses. It's always better to use a bigger level, get more accurate. So, let me just see if this level's good. Yeah, so we're gonna go up a little bit there. Pretty close to level there. Pretty damn close. Yeah, that's dead level there. No, this doesn't look like it's cut too level though. Rerun. Some people put these right at the very top like that. I don't like it. I like it a little centered as possible, but you can't have it down where the C is, you know, and the O is going over the edge, so you're limited. You can only go into a certain spot, you know, like 3/4 of an inch here, 3/4 of an inch there. So I'm just going to kind of tape it tentatively. And then I'll measure it. Okay, I'm going to screw around with that a bit and get back to you. That's pretty close there. From the edge of that C to the, I got a straight edge across here to the outer side. It's 1.25 inches, and over here I got about 1.25 inches. So that's about perfect right there. Let's see if that's, so there's 1 inch and 5/8. 1.5 inches. So that this isn't cut right. So I'm gonna mark it. Black marker. Yeah. I know where it's got to go. I'm going to cut this square now. You can see when they cut that out of the, it's way fatter here than here, so I'll cut it square. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. Like that. And then I think I'll take it to Peter's. That's exactly where I want it. And I think what we'll do is we'll lift this up like this, and I'll sand underneath it. Sand all this part, and then peel it off and put it right there. And then I can sand this part, or put a piece of tape here, flip it down the other way, and then sand the top part. But I think I'm going to leave that like that for now. And now I'm going to do the other side. Okay. I got them pretty much done there. Oh, holding way too high. So I got about 1.25 inch gap. I run a straight edge across the Commando C thing here. 1.25 inch gap from there to the outer edge. On both of them, the height's about the same down. And now I'm gonna take them over to Peter's. He's gonna show me how to sand them and get that done. You know, I got into British bikes when I'm in Sarnia here now. I lived here in the 60s and early 70s. And a friend of mine, Kelly Caraher, he bought a 69 BSA 650 Lightning, and it was kind of a hand paint job, brown. Really neat bike. I love that bike. And I think that was his first motorcycle. And this would have been in the year 70, I'm trying to think of how old I was. Maybe around 76. I lived in Toronto, and I always came back to see my friends and stay with Mike, his brother. His brother and I were good friends for our whole lives. And Kelly got me hooked on the BSAs, the British bikes, the twins, really kind of like the Fonzie bike at the time, eh? And so I bought one. I bought a 69 Lightning, same bike, 650. I bought it in Pickering. There's a red one, beautiful bike. I think I paid around $1,000 for it back then. 900, 1,000, 1,100, right around there. And I drove it. I got it all tuned up downtown Toronto. I think it's on Danforth, the old Norton dealership there, or BSA, Norton Triumph dealership. Mechanic there fixed up. And then when I was there, he had this Norton Commando out front. He was just did a tune-up on or something, or tuning it in. And he's out front, just revving the hell out of this Norton Commando, just screaming. I go, holy shit, does that bike ever sound like a rocket? You know, it's just an amazing sound coming out of that Norton. First time I ever saw a Norton Commando. So I was 18 years old, I think, then, when I bought one. 17 or 18, because I took that bike and went up to Thunder Bay, ended up living with my dad for grade 13. 1978, I think it was, 78, 79. And so I just got that bike, jumped on it, drove to Thunder Bay. And those of you not familiar with Canada, but from Toronto to Thunder Bay is like a 2-day drive. It's and it's still in Ontario. I think it's, if you drove it straight, it'd be 18, 19 hours, something like that. But I hit some rainy weather, some terrible weather. I had a bee go inside my helmet on this little side road. I got lost, had to whip my helmet off and jump off the bike in the middle of nowhere. I had a bee right inside my visor. I didn't even get out of Toronto, and then the shifter vibrated off. And it was, I lost the first shifter. It vibrated off when I first got it. So at that dealership, they got me a new shifter, put it on there, and you know, I brought some tools with me when I left, and it vibrated off. Just leaving Toronto, getting up on the 400, pulled over. I had a pair of vice grips. I clamped the vice grips on as hard as I could, and I shifted the whole way to Thunder Bay with vice grips. But Kelly Caraher, he got me into the British bikes, and he just passed away there about a week or so ago, and his funeral was this morning. And Kelly had nothing. He was a real intellect, but he had a little bit of a mental disorder. He had to be on medication all the time. They had to keep changing his meds, and his meds failed him at the end. And he was really sick, so they induced him into a coma. This was just all of a sudden. Got to the hospital, induced him into a coma because they thought there was brain swelling, and couldn't pull him out of the coma, and he had cardiac arrest and died like all within a week. So we had his funeral there today, and he just rented a little apartment. I don't know if it was a basement apartment, some kind of an apartment in Chatham, Ontario. And he was really religious. Corner Block Church, I believe it's called, in Chatham. And he was a member there. He went to the food banks, and I delivered food to the needy, even though he was as needy as could be. And, you know, very limited clothing, didn't own anything, but was constantly helping people and trying to convert people to Christianity or to Jesus Christ. And helped everybody and anybody, and gave the shirt off his back, even though he didn't even have anything. like I'd see Kelly once a year. I talked about Christmas time this year at a Christmas dinner, and you know, he had a great big beer belly on him, but he didn't drink beer. He didn't drink alcohol, and a big guy, but quietest, nicest, politest guy you ever met. So calm and assuring, and never bad word about anybody. Really nice guy. And at this church today there, even the ministers were surprised. People came out of the woodwork. There was probably 60 people there, and we all had different stories and about how Kelly helped them and did this for them, and you know, was always an ear there to talk to, and took a lot of down and out people and got them food and got them help, you know, all through the church. And there's a motel stretch in Chatham there where there's a lot of roughnecks that live out there, a lot of druggies, you know, pretty bad area. And Kelly, he would just walk right in there with these people and befriend them and say, hey, you guys need any food or any help or anything? I can get you some food. And they said, sure. So we started bringing them food the last 3 years, deliver food over there once a week or whatever through the church. And but they started to get sick, so he couldn't go anymore. So he had the priest go over there, or it's not a priest, minister or whatever, reverend. And the reverend got there with Kelly the one time. Kelly said, I can't get out of the car, I'm too sick, you're gonna have to go there. And he was afraid to get out of the car. Like, these people, there's some pretty bad people there. But he went there. They say, hey, where's Kelly? Where's Kelly? Well, he's too sick today to help, guys. And then when Kelly passed away, the reverend became good friends with these people. When Kelly passed away, he had to tell those people that, and they were all praying for him. He converted a lot of them. They said they're all going to put a prayer in for them. And these were junkies and crackheads and everything else, and they were praying for Kelly, and Kelly prayed for everyone. Really good guy, really different guy, really intellect. My oldest brother died in '94, and my brother was a pretty smart man. And he always said Kelly was the brains of the family. Kelly was in intellect, but he never really worked in his life, or very little, because of his psychological problems. He got me into British bikes, so that's one reason why I got this Norton. Okay, I'm going to go over to Peter's here and see if he can help me out with sanding these down. And if I can get these done right, then I'll work on the tank. And man, if I can get these on, we're getting really close here. Getting really close. So hopefully in the next week. I'm going to head over to Peter's now. Here's my 650 Lightning BSA right there. Drove that from Toronto to Emo, Ontario, which is almost to the Manitoba border. And I was 19 years old. And then when I got there, I finished up high school there and rebuilt the top end of that there. And there's my dog. He's an Australian blue heeler. Always nipped your heels everywhere he went. Had to carry a plastic club with you. Had to carry a plastic club to beat that dog off all the time. He was always nipping the heels of the horses, cows, everything. Dog drove me nuts. Smart dog though. Anyways, that's how I got into British bikes. Just went to Peter's, and he showed me how to do this with some 600 grit paper. 600 grit paper here. And just trying to get the orange peel off. I don't know if you can see it on an angle here a little bit. It's a little bit orange peely right here, where this part's nice and smooth, so that's what I got to get it down to, like that. Gonna get both of these sanded down, and then I think next week Peter said he's gonna be clearing some guys' Harley parts, and he'll get these cleared for me, and I'll work on the tank as well too. Okay, that's where I'm at tonight. Tomorrow is motorhome day. I got to finish working on that. And I got all the sandpaper to do the primary cover, so I'm going to do that as well too. That's it for tonight.